keeping the score instead of building a connection. We forget that we're on the same team. We jump to defense instead of understanding that if an issue is happening, this is an opportunity for us to build connection.
Especially in relationships, you feel like people should just know. But it's like you have these expectations for somebody and they don't know anything about them. It's like I'm setting you up for failure. I'm keeping this little scorecard, you know, but you have no indication that the score is happening, right? It's like you taking a test and you don't know it.
What's up, family? This is Jay.
And this is Tay.
And you're now tuned in to another episode of the Unscripted Journey Podcast. Well, family, we got another one for you.
We do. Yeah. This is your topic. So tell us what we're going to talk about today.
What we're going to talk about today is the Silent Scorecard.
Eek.
Right? When
yikes.
Keeping the internal scorecard of,
yeah.
of what, you do and what your partner does. And so we're going to talk about today. And, and I say it's silent because...
That's what I was about to ask. What do you mean by silent?
It's silent like it is internalized.
Right.
Right? It is something that you keep on the inside.
Okay.
Right? And but you only keep it for so often, right? Because after a while, it starts showing up in different areas, right?
Okay.
And I think that it is something that needs to be talked about, needs to be discussed, because a lot of times we do it in relationships. I
was about to say most people do it.
Right. Now we do.
I know I've definitely done it. And I'm definitely guilty of it.
Yeah. And so I think that's
this little ticker going off. This number 3. This is number 3. Okay.
Yeah.
This is number 3.
Yeah. And so I think that we, especially when you want to do relationships God's way.
Yeah.
Right. We should not be keeping the wrongdoing chart. Right?
Yeah.
Or
not the wrongdoing chart.
Yeah. Or the
sounds like grade school.
Right. But in that sense,
that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. And it's like, and it's comparing, right? The tit for tat, right? And so I would say, leading into that, right? The first thing that I really want to talk about is keeping the score instead of building a connection.
Okay.
Right.
What is that? What does that look like?
It is. It looks like the I did this, you did that.
Okay.
Right. And okay, I guess we're gonna be honest. Don't make that face. We've done that. Right?
Yeah.
We've experienced that, right?
We have.
Yeah. You did this.
Right.
When somebody brings up something, it's well, you did this and you didn't do it this way.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, when it comes to relationships, we do a whole lot of that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we do a lot of that because we forget that we're on the same team.
Right.
Right. We jump to defense. Right. We jump to trying to protect ourselves, trying to prove a point, right? Trying to be right.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding that if an issue is happening, that this is an opportunity for us to build connection.
Right.
Right. And I think that is the problem with a lot of us, is that we forget that, right? We forget that, man, we're coming together.
Yeah.
The Bible tells us 2 becomes 1.
Right.
So watch this. We are becoming. In order to become something, you have to transform.
Right.
Right. In order to become something, there has to be friction.
Yeah.
Right. There has to be resistance.
Yeah.
Right. There has to be intentionality when building. And so you have to understand that there's going to be just that. There's going to be those instances where you're going to, somebody's going to say something to you that you may not necessarily like.
Right.
Right. Somebody's going to say something to you that you may not agree with. Right.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I just, this silent scorecard is funny.
It is. Right. And it turns into a competition.
Yeah.
Right. It's no longer a partnership.
Right.
We've done it. Right. We've done it where, you've brought something to me and I'll be like, really? Like, but you did X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And instead of saying it, we internalize it.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of saying you did this, we internalize it.
Right.
To turn it back on you when you come and try to bring something to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the things that really, that scorecard, is really something embedded in us
Yeah.
that we keep, whether you want to admit to it or not. And when we keep the score, it X out grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The scorecard is, when it's like, who's winning with it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's winning with it? What's behind it? Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah. When you say who's winning, like you brought me, y'all, I mean, if you know, like I love music, you brought me to this song. Well, I think one of the best albums, people argue, but I think it's one of the best albums because of the type of album it was. Jay-Z 444.
Okay.
Right. And one of the songs he said,
I know which one you're talking about.
Nobody wins when the family feuds.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And I think that is a lyric, that is a song, like that bar right there.
Yeah.
Has stuck with me.
Yeah. That's a good comparison.
Nobody wins. Right. And there's, okay, we feuding. Okay, we going tit for tat. Who's going to win, right? And I think that is the problem and the issue when it comes to relationships, right? That we see each other as opposition. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think that makes sense. When I think about like this silent scorecard, just sitting here thinking about it, I'm thinking about the expectations that aren't said, like these unspoken expectations that we may have. And it relates to me because it's like, sometimes, especially in relationships, you feel like people should just know. Like they should just know. But it's like you have these expectations for somebody and they don't know anything about them. It's like, what's the point, right? So I think that silent scorecard, when I think about that, it makes me think about like maybe some unspoken expectations that I may have had, like in our relationship, ones that I never said. And then it's like, well, now I have these unspoken expectations. How are you to meet them? It's like I'm setting you up for failure.
No,
at the end of the day, that's what it's like.
And that's so true, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, we assume things, right? And we put these expectations on a person, and I'm guilty of it, right? I've done it to where it's like, well, why didn't you do this? You like, well, I didn't know that was what you wanted me to do. Why you didn't say that? And sometimes we're like, well, I thought you should, you should already know that, right?
Yeah.
And these expectations that you put on people, and it's like I think you said this, but like almost setting up for failure.
Yeah, it's like a setup for failure. And at the end of the day, it's like I'm keeping this little tick for tat. I'm keeping this little scorecard, you know, but you have no indication that the score is happening, right? It's like you taking a test and you don't know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's just a setup for failure. So when I think about a silent scorecard now, that I'm a little bit mature, because definitely, like I say, I think we mentioned it, I've definitely done a silent scorecard before. But now that I'm a little bit more mature, I'm always thinking about like, how can we get to where we're trying to go? How can our goal be accomplished? Whatever that is, like stop being mad at each other. I'm not about to set you up and be like, if he say one more thing about my mama, that's going to be it. I'm just going to say, hey, babes, like you talking about my mom, it's starting to frustrate me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to have this silent thing going on. And I use that just as a loose example.
But not just that. Go deeper.
Yeah.
Why is that a point of contention?
Yeah.
Right? Like, instead of us getting mad about it, right? Let's say, okay, you said this about 7 times.
Right.
Okay, so what is this?
Yeah.
Like, why you keep harping on this? What has happened?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of saying, you talk about my mama. Right. Why are you talking about my mama?
Right.
What happened? Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of us. We keep the score instead of digging.
Yeah.
Right? We keep the score instead of searching. We keep the score instead of saying, let's get to the root of the issue.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem because, and I go back to this because we've been studying this, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times we keep the scorecard because we live in offense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like, we're offended by what has been said.
Right.
We're offended by what our mate said.
Yeah.
And so since we're offended, we harbor that. Right.
Yeah.
And now we keeping a scorecard. Now we're pointing out things they've done.
Looking at you all skeptical.
Right. Oh, it's ain't nobody talking.
Right.
We turn our backs when we get into bed. Yeah. And instead of saying, man, you know what, that statement that you said was offensive, but let me dig deep because I don't think your goal was to offend. But let's dig deep into what you're saying and what has happened.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, it makes sense because it's just kind of like, okay, well, if now we don't have like these deep conversations, then resentment comes in, right? Small issues become big issues, right? If we don't have these conversations about like exactly why are these things happening, exactly why are these things triggering, right? Yeah. And like you said, being an offense, and it's always, now like, again, I just say that I feel like I've matured a lot, just like maybe just within the last few years, not even talking about nothing like I've been this way, but like maybe just within the last few years. And it's just like, even with offense, I remember like, it's crazy to say, but kind of liking to be an offense, liking to be offended, right? Because, and it's kind of like, and I'm going to take some accountability, right? Because we all have the choice and to be offended or not. Like, that's totally your choice. Like, I don't have to be offended by nothing you say. You know what I mean? That's my choice. I feel I want to be offended, or I want to get to the bottom of it. Because I can be offended all day and not just come to you to try to figure out,
that's good.
Okay, why did you offend me? So, because with everything, get an understanding, right? Maybe you didn't mean to offend me. Maybe you did. Okay, well, why did you mean to offend me? Like, what did I do to make you cause this to be a situation? So I just think, like you said, I think I think mentioning offense was a good thing when it comes to this silent scorecard, because I think that plays a big role as to why it is silent. Why it is not something that we just don't say, hey, this is what's going on. I love you and I want this to work. So let me tell you what's going on. Let me not have you take a test and you not prepared. You know what I mean?
And that is good, right? Yeah. Because like it goes deeper, because you have one relationship that's talks, one relationship that doesn't like conflict. Yeah. Right. And so sometimes you keep the silent scorecard because you like, I don't feel like ruffling feathers, right? I don't feel like going there, feel like, it's going to be a whole bunch of conflict. But in essence, being silent, conflict is going to come. It's unavoidable, right? And sometimes we think that you can avoid it, but some conflicts you got to go through. Right? Because it is for your growth, right? And so I think that is the thing that we really have to understand. And I think it's how you view the whole thing, right? It's how you view your relationship. It's how you view what you're doing, right? And that is the thing that a lot of people have to really, like you said, do some digging on, right? Of why am I doing this? And then this goes a whole nother thing. And this may even go off topic, but the scorecard, but then these unspoken expectations to where the bar keeps going higher and higher and higher. You're like, man, what? Like, I didn't even know. Like, I ain't know. Like, I ain't know you.
What you mean? What? Talk about this higher bar.
Like, you meet one thing, right? Like an expectation, right? And then and you're doing stuff, and then it's like, you ain't doing it right. What do you mean? You ain't doing enough, right? It's like, you're like, what do you mean? Like, and that's the thing. A lot of times in relationships, it's those unspoken things, right? And those unspoken things, watch this, are killers.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just, what you just said is good too. Like, when you think about like this silent scorecard, like, just remember that you're in a relationship. This is not a you ship. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to get out of yourself.
Wait a minute. You got to dig. Like, you can't just say that. That was a bar. You can't just say that and not dig there. So dig there.
So what I'm saying is that,
what do you mean with not a relationship, and it's a relationship, not a you ship?
Because this is a relationship. It is two people trying to mesh, right? Like, it's two people trying to come together, to do something together, to satisfy each other, to meet each other's needs. It's not a you ship. So when so it is not about you. So it is not about like, you did this to me, you did that to me, and so since you did this to me, I'm going to do that. Like, it is not that. This is a relationship. So this silent scorecard that we be doing, has nothing to do with us, but everything to do with you.
Wait a minute.
Or nothing to do with us and everything to do with me.
If I could whistle, I would whistle right there. Because that was that. No, that's deep.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, you got to keep that in mind. And I say that because I know that I've lived that, right? It's like, you're in a relationship and you thinking, I can't believe they did this to me, or, this hurt me, or, they should know what I like, or they should know what I want. Like, it was, you just have this you thing going on, and it's just like, we trying to do the betterment.
Yeah.
We trying to do the betterment for the relationship. You trying to do the betterment for the relationship. So like, get away from you.
Yeah.
Get away from you. Get away from you feeling like, I got him. He's this the third strike, he out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how it goes. And it's like, you be trying to get him, and you trying to like, okay, I got him now.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is that about? I think that just a lot of times it's just like, with the silent scorecard, it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with me. So just remembering to check that when you're doing that silent scorecard, because once you start doing something, it becomes a habit, and habits are hard to break, right? But just being mindful that, like, why am I keeping the score again?
And I think it goes deeper, right? It goes deeper when you talked about the you, and I think that when we are so concerned about us, we forget our partner.
Yeah.
But not only do we forget our partner, we're more concerned and only concerned about us.
Yeah.
How we been treated.
Right.
How we're taking things.
For sure.
How it's, benefiting me.
Right.
And
of
not
course.
we. Right. And I think that that's where a lot of times relationships hit that snag and struggle, because we get into that selfish mode. Right. It's like, I gotta get mine. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta make sure what's that one? I gotta put me first.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first.
And I believe that is the thing that we have to do some more digging into, because why did he even create marriage?
Yeah.
He gives us distinct roles, right, in marriage, and it does not say about us. It says how we should focus on our mate.
Yeah, that's true.
Husbands,
facts.
Love your wives as Christ loved the church. Like, when you think about what Christ did, he sacrificed for the church, right? He loved the church, right? He cared for the church, right? So when you think about that, wives, submit to your husband. Wives, hupatasso, that's what submit means, right? Support, right? Come underneath. The woman is the neck, the man is the head. Like, understanding our roles. Watch this, that we are called to serve one another. Yeah. And I think a lot of times we forget that we come in the relationship and talk about serving me. Right. But I should come in saying, I'm serving my wife. Yeah. And then in return, my wife will should serve me. Yeah. Right. And if we're serving each other, right? Watch this. Serving each other, not how we want to be served. Right. But how our mate needs to be served. Yeah. Then then it's a whole total different dynamic. Right. And I believe that that's why we have these silent scorecards, because we don't come in with that mentality to begin with. Right. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And then just even as we talk about it, it's called the silent scorecard. Yeah. And you talked about something earlier. You talked about, like, sometimes people don't like conflict in relationships and things like that, so that they're silent. And I'm like, if you're silent in your relationship, you just as complicit. Yeah. Like, if you are not saying the things that you need to say, or the things that you want to say, then you're complicit to the relationship not going the way that you desire it to go. And when we think about a scorecard, so I dealt with that silent piece, but when we think about a scorecard, you keep scores in a competition. Yeah. Your relationship is not a competition. Yeah. You keep scoring a competition to try to see who's going to win. Yeah. That's not what a relationship is. You're not trying to figure out if I'm going to win or you going to win. Yeah. It's how we going to win. Yeah. So, like, there should be no my scorecard, your scorecard. There should be no, everybody should feel like there should be a space created between each other where you have the space to talk, right? Because that's another thing. Like, it's people don't like confrontation, and then people just kind of maybe don't feel like they have a safe space to talk. You know what I mean? So just making sure that you're creating that for your partner too. Like making sure that you're creating that safe space and making sure that you're remembering that a scorecard means somebody's got to win or lose. Like
say that again.
A scorecard means somebody's got to win or lose. One person has got to win. One person has got to lose. It is when you see a scorecard in a basketball game and a football game, and my daughter's just stunt and cheer.
Somebody
wins. It is a loser and it is a winner.
And what we don't understand in relationships, if one lose, we all lose.
Right. So just keeping those things in mind when you're thinking about the silent scorecard, just something really practical to think about, because I think it's important. And I think a lot of times that's what's happening and why relationships don't necessarily work. Because it's just like you got this little scorecard going on that nobody knows about, or your partner doesn't know about. You have these feelings happening that you're not saying nothing about. And it's not helping anything at the end of the day. So
no, that's good. What would be another thing that you talked about the keeping the score instead of building connection. We talked about unspoken expectations. What would be another thing that when it comes to the silent scorecard that you would say that what silence would do, right?
I think I just talked about it a little bit. Silence just stores things up, right? It just doesn't give. One thing I always like to tell people is give people the opportunity. Like I feel like a lot of times we don't give people the opportunity to do nothing. We don't give people the opportunity to forgive us. We don't give people the opportunity to understand us. We don't give people the opportunity to explain. We don't give people the opportunity to give grace. We don't give people. We just don't even give people the opportunity. It's like I am going to shut it down before I even say anything. I'm not even going to give you the opportunity to do anything. So I think silence just takes away people's opportunity, especially in relationships. If you're silent and you don't speak about how you feel and you don't let me know how you feel, you're not even giving me the opportunity to meet your needs. You're not even giving me the opportunity to say, oh, okay, I can understand that. Let me readjust. You know what I mean? So like, I think, at the end of the day, like when I said, your silence can be complicit because it's like you don't even give your person the opportunity to rise to the occasion that you want them to be at, right? Because we talk about these unspoken expectations. You're not even giving them the opportunity to rise to the occasion if you don't say anything.
And one thing about it is, when you're silent and you're having a scorecard, there's other things that are catching root.
That's true.
Right. There's other things that are forming. Right. And what we don't understand is that silence of holding back those things or keeping that scorecard, it's really sowing a seed. Right. And it sows so many seeds. And one of the seeds is resentment. Right.
That's
that you begin to start resenting your partner. Right. Because you have held these things in, haven't said anything, and because you haven't said anything, and you think that you're doing, I'm keeping a scorecard, but now you're starting to build some seeds, right? And these seeds are not healthy seeds, are not good fruit. It's bad fruit, right? So when you talk about resentment, right, you talked about these things when you start looking at your partner, you like, you saying things underneath your breath.
What have you done for me lately?
Right. Like you getting out of attitude, like you saying different things. And it's like, man, where's all this attitude coming from? I thought it was good.
Right, I thought we was cool.
Right. I went to bed last night. You waking up and listen, your smile is making them mad. The way you brush your teeth is making them mad. You're like, what is
Stop all that laughing.
Right. Like you on the phone laughing with your friends and have a good time. They all just walking past. You just like, what is it? And that is the thing, right? And I think that what we really have to understand that it does not solve anything.
It doesn't.
And you said it stores everything, right? It's just harboring everything. And when we harbor things, what we don't understand is that small issue is now going to come into a big bomb.
Right.
And I'm telling you, as my right hand to God, I am sitting here saying, like, I know that person. Because I have literally, pushed things down. And I said it one time at an analogy at our church. I was like, when you put trash down, like, you're making more space, but you don't know. Like you just more trash is building up, right? And then
the heavier and heavier it's gonna get,
right? And then after a while you can't push it down no more, and it has to go somewhere,
right?
And I have been, enemy number one. I will say suspect. I will say, I'm the suspect. I did it, right? I'm the culprit. That where I will push it down. Not say anything. You'll say something to me, and I'd be like, I can't believe she's saying something to me. Like,
not that silent scorecard. Your head all talking.
She ain't perfect. Like, what I mean? Like, like she talking about what I ain't do. Like, I ain't take out the trash. Well, shoot, she said she was gonna do something. I'm gonna be honest. She said she was gonna give me something 2 days ago. She said, she always give me tomorrow. And then, when she want me to do something, she's all like, you ain't did it yet. I'm all like, well, you still ain't gave me nothing.
Okay.
Right? But
calm down. But he digresses.
In essence, it turns into a big blow up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you like, what is wrong with you? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like I just asked you to do one thing. Like, no, you ain't just asked me. I asked you to do this and this and that. But not seeing like, man, if I'd have just said it, right, and give you the chance to speak to it, you could have been like, you know what, babe, I did say tomorrow. I was a little tired, and I apologize. Like, you know what, and that's on me. But me, I'll be like, because I have like, okay, she said tomorrow. Come at the hey babe, you tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow again.
tomorrow.
and that was like, if I hit tomorrow one more time, I'm on there. Not gonna be a tomorrow.
What if I don't make it till tomorrow?
Right. But again, this is real. And as y'all are listening and watching, I'm pretty sure there is somebody, some couple that said, good God Almighty, like this is so true.
Yeah.
But we have to understand is like this is not solving anything.
Yeah.
Being hush mouth. Say, not being afraid for, being afraid to say it, not embracing the conflict. It's not helping nobody.
Right.
In essence, it's hurting your relationship. And I guarantee there are people that have divorced that they look back and say, man, if I would have said this, if I would have done this better, if I would have opened up my mouth, I wonder if we would have probably survived.
Right. Yeah. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
No,
That's, this topic is, I ain't gonna lie, this topic's a little ouchy for me. Because there's definitely been times where I've been bothered and you have not been bothered. And cracking up on the phone, I'm all, if he don't stop all that laughing, like it ain't even that funny.
Right,
like I'm just raining on your joy, right? Because I have like this mental note in my head about something that you've done, and you over here walking on sunshine. So it's definitely like you said, it just does not solve anything to not speak to your partner about how you are feeling.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's like that's what the beauty of the relationship is. That's the beauty of marriage, to have somebody that you can speak to about everything, to have like a best friend that you just have that you can say anything to, and you guys can get through it. You guys can talk through it. You guys can work through it.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's the beauty of the relationship, the beauty of marriage. So it's like, why rob each other of those?
No, that's good.
Of those pearls? Why?
Yeah, for real.
So
yeah.
That's how I feel about that silent scorecard now. I will say, I'm definitely going to think about it again the next time it start rolling in my head. Next time I'm all like 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. Yeah.
And the last thing I will say is healthy relationships often reset.
That's good. That's true.
And I think that that's something that we have to really understand that.
Yeah.
That every now and then you need to hit a reset.
Right.
I was talking to my barber, and he was sharing with me. He said, "Man, me and my wife were going on like a little getaway this weekend."
Right.
And he showed me the getaway like it was out in the sticks, right? A little 1-bedroom, little like cozy little cottage, I would say, right? And he was like, man, we do this often to reset, right? To hit the reset button because we're so busy, right?
Right.
And I was like, man, and I told him, I said, hey man, like, this is what I want you to do. Send me that spot. Like, and he told me where he found it.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's similar spots to that. I said, okay, cool. But then you know what I said?
What?
I said, man, hold me accountable.
Yeah.
I said, come back, tell me how it was, but then hold me accountable for me.
To do a reset.
To do a reset in my marriage, because we often do check-ins, right? Every Sunday we're doing a whole lot better of just doing that, getting the repetition of checking in.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? One thing we talked about is like at least every other month or a quarter, we getting away for the weekend,
right?
And spending time and checking in, right? And resetting, communicating, right? Mm-hmm. How did it go? What do we need to improve, right?
Right.
How's our communication? How's our connection, right? How are different things, and then giving people space to say, what do you need in a relationship, right? Like your need may have changed since January.
Right.
You came in January saying I need this, but it's April now, going on May. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who knows what it is, right? And so I think that a lot of times we have to really have those conversations of saying, let's reset.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And even with resetting is what you need to reset. Right, everybody's reset may be different. Yeah. And so I like that reset. And would you, if I would ask, what would your reset look like? Like if you thought about like, hey, I want to reset, what would that look like for you?
I think a reset, like, it's a refresher. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I think I liken it to like this. I have a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right. And my PlayStation is constantly uploading, updating. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes it'll say, do not power down.
Right.
Do you want to go ahead and get the update?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. And I think that when we reset, it's all we're doing is updating data.
Yeah.
Right? Updating data when it comes to our mate, when it comes to our relationship, and assessing where we are.
Right.
And then seeing like where we want to be. Right. So a reset to me, it looks like, okay, how is this going?
Yeah.
Right. What area needs to be fixed?
Right.
Right. What things we need to stop doing? What things we need to start doing? Right. And so that's when I look at a reset, I'm looking at, not saying we need to do everything over.
Yeah, of course.
We're not saying
just
that.
Kind of a refresh.
But just a refresh, right? Yeah. And so maybe that's I like that. Just a refresh, right? Let's fresh this thing up and say, okay, how's everything going? Because if we look at marriage as if we look at computers, we look at PlayStations, even we got smart TVs, our smart TVs even refresh.
Right.
If we look at everything, like ladies, you refresh your makeup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we look at our relationships and our marriages the same way, then it will never get dull and stale.
Right.
Right. I would even say, let's go further. If we look at our relationship with God,
that's good.
Every now and then you need a refresh.
Right.
Right. Like it gets a little stale, like, and you're harping some things. And so I think that oftentimes if you're going to have a healthy relationship, no matter what type of relationship it is, with the family, whether with your kids, whether with your spouse, whether with, your friends, with God, you need to have a refresh, right? You need to have some time to where you're being intentional. Right, to see some things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
No,
When I think of one thing I will add to that refresh too, or your reset, is resetting with your mate and also resetting yourself. Because sometimes you be off caliber.
Ooh,
like
that's
sometimes I'm off caliber. Like sometimes I'm off caliber. Sometimes I'm off.
Yeah.
And sometimes I know I'm off. Yeah. And other times it's so busy, I can't tell I'm off until something happens. And it's like, ooh, I'm off. Right. Yeah. So I would say even like the reset is good. Like the reset is great for the relationship and it's great for yourself. Reset yourself, because sometimes it may just be you. Yeah. Like, so when you're doing a reset, even if like, whatever the case may be, you go somewhere, reset yourself, give your partner a chance to reset themselves and then come back and refresh together. That's like, good. Okay, cool. And just really recalibrate your relationship with God, like you said, just recalibrating yourself too, like you said, just because no matter what it is, your relationship with God, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with family, whatever, just making sure that you are in the right space too. Yeah. Making sure that you're solid too. That's good. So I just tack that on to the reset.
Good. That's real good. Mm-hmm. Well, as we come to a close, what would you And maybe that was your thing that you want.
That was kind of like my gym. That's what I would take away is just like with the reset. I think the reset is amazing. I really like that because you spoke to healthy relationships reset often. And I think that is true. I think that you cannot keep going on and on off of stuff you thought you knew or stuff you did know. Yeah. And that goes for yourself. Yeah. And that goes for your mate.
No, that's real. No, that's real. No, I love that. I would go back to that line. Yeah. Nobody wins when the family feuds.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean? I would go back to that and just say, hey, like always keep that in mind. Yeah. Right. That, this silence is not helping anybody. Right. Right. It's not, we're not going to win with this. Right. And so as long as you understand that the goal is for us to win. Yeah. Us to get there together. Then you would be like, you know what? Let's say it because what harm is it going to do? Mm-hmm. Because one thing we know, all things work together for the good. Yeah. 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 Well, family, listen, I hope something was said. If something was said that you like, won't you share? Yeah. Won't you like? Won't you comment? Yeah. Right? Won't you even hit the subscribe button? Won't you share with people and say, hey, watch this. It'll help. It'll bless. And then challenge them to send it to somebody else and hit that subscribe button up. Let's get these numbers up, yo.
And if you have any comments about like something about the silent scorecard, let us know.
Let us know. Yeah.
Comment.
Yeah, we'll love to hear from you and love to communicate back with you. Yeah. Well, family, until next time, I'm Jay.
And this is Tay.
And you were just tuned in to another episode of the Unscripted Journey podcast. Peace out.
Holla.